Since its debut in 2002 on the PlayStation 2, Kingdom Hearts took fantasy to surreal heights by merging the worlds of Final Fantasy and Disney. This unlikely union since then expanded its storyline across multiple game platforms, the latest of which finds a home on Nintendo's 3DS, with Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance. Does Sora's and first-time playable Riku's new adventure keep the magic, or does it leave us a little heartless?
Hey, welcome back to the GamerNerdz, everybody. So what better way to end this summer 2012 drought? Square Enix is celebrating the 10th anniversary of their famous Kingdom Hearts series with Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. Off the bat, this is my very first Kingdom Hearts game I've ever played through completely. I dabbled in the first one for maybe an hour. I did not like it. I did not think Square Enix mixed with Disney characters would actually make a solid game, but here we are.
So yes, Kingdom Hearts 3D takes place after the events of Kingdom Hearts Coded. Right off the bat, if you have not played a single Kingdom Hearts game, you will be confused.
No, are you crazy? Are you crazy? The thing with the story is that they don't take any consideration if you have no previous experience with Kingdom Hearts. They just throw you in, so I didn't know. I had to talk to him over and over. Who's this person? Who are these random people and stuff? I was completely lost.
Listen, the last game I played was Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, so I was still kind of rusty on the Kingdom Hearts series, so even for me, it was a little lost. But once you get into it, no, I loved it.
Let's just try to explain, okay, now from my perspective, the story. So you have Sora and Riku who are with Master Yensid, who says, I want you to become Keyblade Masters. Yes. I don't know why that's important.
It's important.
So they fly off to these 7 worlds that are sleeping, throw in these towns, and I just see these characters from various Square Enix games and various Disney movies. The gameplay is great, but man, I don't know what's going on.
If you've been following Kingdom Hearts, this story is gonna grab you immediately. You're gonna love it because
it's terrible.
No, Kingdom Hearts stories have always been really deep. People who say Metal Gear is confusing, trust me, you don't know anything. Kingdom Hearts is confusing. Just the bad guy himself, Hort, the leader of Organization 13, and his nobody is on his Heartless. It can be confusing.
You can't even explain yourself.
Ansem is Hort's Heartless. And Xemnas is his nobody. Anyway, whatever. The reason I really loved Kingdom Hearts in the first place was it was a combination of Final Fantasy characters and Disney characters. In this one, there aren't really any Final Fantasy characters. They're only kind of referenced.
You visit these 7 towns that are really well thought out, and because each character has their own version of the town thanks to the ludicrous story where they're visiting a different version of a sleeping world. Sora will have a particular interaction with Sam Flynn in the Grid and Tron Legacy, whereas Riku will be dealing with Korra the other way around. I kind of was surprised that there was no Square Enix characters.
Well, like, they are. The ones from the world ends with us or you, or what is it called?
Okay, no, I mean, that's a Square Enix game. I meant Final Fantasy. Like, there's no real NPCs. Like, you visit these towns and all these areas, but it's just enemies, and you have these, I call them the Sephiroth clones because they all look like Sephiroth, and then they come in and they give you some speech and they walk away into a portal. The ending of the game is even more absurd, but you know what? We don't play Square Enix games for stories anymore because there's no story.
I'm gonna contradict you right now. Listen, I love the Kingdom Hearts stories. Sora's character has been developed all the way from Kingdom Hearts 1. Kingdom Hearts vets love that character.
So he wasn't a super happy-go-lucky character. Has he changed at all?
No,
tell me how he's changed.
He was a happy-go-lucky character.
He has not changed at all.
He's balanced by Riku, who is more down. He's the Cloud.
Okay. Riku is the typical, super emo, emotional. Yeah, he does this with his hands a lot.
Sora is Titus, pretty much, and Riku is Cloud or Sephiroth. You will feel a little lost, even if you are Kingdom Hearts vets, so do the research, go back, go on Wikipedia. The game will actually at some point give you kind of chronicles of what happened before.
Honestly, the worst part about the game is the story, but don't play for the story because Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance really shines in the gameplay department.
Disagreed. I love the story. Play for the story. Anyway, gameplay.
Anyway, so when I first started playing it, I was completely overwhelmed. I was talking to Voyce and I'm like, man, are all Kingdom Hearts games like this? So you have your command deck, you can pull different magic attacks, your command attacks and so on. You still have your Keyblade. You can use this flow motion capability where you can bounce off walls and swing off poles and everything. Then there's reality shift.
You can interact with certain objects to do certain things, but some of the levels you're on require you to pull out the stylus after and connect dots.
No. I mean, for the City de Cloche, which is the Hunchback of Notre Dame level, yeah, you can drag your finger around to create a path and stuff, but I've never used a stylus one. Getting used to the action part of the game gameplay was really tough because the Traverse Town is not a really good start to the game. Only when you get to the later levels, it really starts picking up and you start seeing the depth in the fighting, all the leveling up and abilities, and we haven't even got to the spirit part yet.
The thing that I didn't really like about the game, it was so overwhelming. In terms of gameplay, initially, it'll kind of throw you off, you feel a little overwhelmed, but once you get into it, it actually makes combat easier.
For the beginning, it actually gets a little bit tough where you were only doing flow motion stuff because your character's invincible. The spirits are like the mini Pokemon, so you create spirits by finding these dream pieces, and then you can raise the spirits' abilities. As they level up, they give your character, Sora or Riku, abilities on their own. So, and then they actually can fight with you, but you can link with them and become like a super powerful version of yourself. So I was really surprised at how in-depth that got. And then there's all this like augmented reality stuff. You can train them, you can poke them and rub them in.
I loved having these spirits. I was kind of disappointed that you don't actually play with Donald and Goofy following you around like they did in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. They're just in the cutscene. They are replaced with these spirits, and fine, I accepted it. At first, I kind of just ignored them until I realized they're integral to the gameplay.
The best part of the spirits is this game called Flick Rush. It unlocks these really special abilities or hard to find items. You can find recipes to build new spirits. The last thing, believe it or not, with the gameplay is this thing called the Dream Drop system. It made sense later on because you are playing two versions of the same world at the same time.
Two different characters.
And you got to keep the stories going on, so they force this. I was in a boss fight with one of these super colorful Dream Eaters and my character fell asleep, I guess.
I understand it. Like you said, you're playing as Sora and Riku in two parallel dimensions, which can get confusing, like you said.
This is such a clear, concise story.
In terms of story, okay, I got confused because you're like, wait, I didn't know at the beginning if the characters you interacted with, as Sora, were aware of themselves and they're interacting with Riku. I was like, what is happening? But it's annoying when you're in the middle of a boss battle or fighting a bunch of enemies and suddenly you hear that sound it makes.
You gotta hurry up. The one thing I really didn't like is that you can't use items like passive items directly from the menu. You have to attach them to your command deck.
Yep.
So it's kind of cool. You can customize that. You can change the order of the items. You will be able to add more slots later on.
But how many times did you cure yourself or use a potion by mistake?
Yeah, like
when you're using your command deck, when you're fighting, is that when you use something, it automatically goes to the next available whatever you have equipped.
You gotta be careful how you order it.
Yeah, but then when you're fighting, you're not really paying attention.
Well, you should be mashing buttons.
And then you're like, oh, I just use a potion.
You can mash buttons in this, but eventually you'll time your attacks to link with your spirits. You'll be able to counter attack. The combat is really where the game shines. Story is way at the bottom. Everything else is way up there.
I'm gonna disagree with you. Gameplay is fantastic, except for the dive. It's just a replacement of the gummy ship from Kingdom Hearts 1. Stupid dive, hate it.
Now, if you guys are picking this game up, there's no surprise. Square Enix has done a really good job and really taking advantage of the 3DS hardware. Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance is beautiful. The characters are vibrant. There's a lot. I was very surprised at the depth of facial animation. Lip syncing in these type of games are crap.
Yeah, generally.
It's actually really good here, even with the Disney characters. The visuals are one thing. It's super colorful. You have really good representations of these movie universes, whether it be Hunchback of Notre Dame, Fantasia, and all that. And then you have this returning voice cast, which I thought was very well done.
The thing about the Kingdom Hearts in general is that they always have this fantastic voice actors. They just reprise their roles. The environment, apart from the fact that they're kind of barren.
Yeah, there's no like NPCs and stuff.
It feels a little barren, it feels a little empty, but whatever.
The only problems I have with the visuals, and I guess it's more of a control thing, but the camera sometimes can get really insane, especially in boss battles. If you have a Circle Pad Pro, definitely use it for the camera control. To my surprise, this is probably the first Square Enix game that I actually enjoyed in a very long time. The story is absurd, the ending is ridiculous, but somehow Square Enix brings all these crazy gameplay modes, this really good combat system, this entire spirit training, Pokemon, card battling system, and just an absolutely insane amount of content. There's a lot of hidden stuff. There's harder modes, there's secret worlds, there's secret treasures and all. If you like RPGs, even if you like Japanese RPGs, gotta play Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance on the 3DS.
I love everything about the game. The gameplay was a little overwhelming at the beginning, but once you get into it and it starts to make sense, you start to enjoy it. The story, okay, I love the story. For a Kingdom Heart vet,
oh my God,
it makes perfect sense. For someone
okay, he says it makes perfect sense. You need to see the research he's been doing to grasp the story behind characters named Xemnas and Xehanort and Roxas and Leah and Axel. I mean, who names these characters?
Square Enix is not very good at naming characters, okay? The story is very deep. The thing is that if you understand the source material, it's very deep.
How many people understand the source material?
I understand it.
No, you didn't.
And there's two of us.
You had to do hours of research.
I did research because I
wanted to.
Because you didn't understand the story.
The story became a little confusing. It's been a while since I played Death by Sleep or Birth by Sleep, whatever. Kingdom Hearts 3D, fantastic game. I'm really enjoying it. It's the first game on the 3DS that I'm actually really getting into.
Good stuff, Square Enix.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the show. You heard our opinions on Kingdom Hearts. We'd like to hear yours. Leave them in a comment below. Subscribe to our channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. We'll see you next time on The Gamer Nerds.
Three cubed, as Voice mentioned when he first talked about it. So, hey, welcome back to The Gamer Nerds, everybody. So how to end, what am I gonna say? So
how to end
what a great way to end
episode.
The summer drought. The last thing, believe it or not, but beyond, I'm really excited.
The world is sleeping.
This is Japanese. Seriously? Oh man.